Hi, I'm Becca and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make this quilled sleigh ready for our Christmas scene that I've started building before when we've made the little reindeers. This is the second part of the instalment. There will be other parts coming. This one's made with a rigid piece sleigh, which I'll show you, but there is also a downloadable file in the description box just so that you can do this yourself if you can't get hold of one of the wooden sleighs that I'm using now. So that's free for you to download and use, and all you need to do is just make some tight coils with this and a little bit of tinsel and paint if you've managed to get one of these wooden ones. So let's get to it, I'll show you how. Right, so to make our Santa's sleigh, I'm going to be using this sleigh that I got from The Works. That's a shop in the UK if you're outside of the UK. It was £2. It's made out of some sort of thin wood. I'm not sure if it's plywood or balsa wood. Anyway, it's really light anyway, whatever it is. But I know that not everybody's going to be able to get these. So what I've done is I've made a template for you to be able to make your own out of cardstock. So it's not going to be as thick and as hard as this unless you stick quite a few layers of card together and do it that way. So what I've done is I've drawn it round the outside of it both ways, and then I've created a middle piece which is going to make this part, and then you're just going to need a bit of a straw to do this part. So I've already got these cut out for you. Of course, watching me do that is very boring. So this will be a free download that's on the description box for you to download and print out yourself. And you just need to print it onto the thickest card that you can, or print it out on paper and cut it out and then draw around it on some thicker card. So this is Crafts Companion stamping cardstock that I've got, that I've cut these out. So you're going to need two of the side pieces and then one of the base pieces. Now as you can see here, there's some lines here, and those ones will come up on your download as dashes, which means these are for scoring. So if you've got a scoreboard, just take the line and line it up to whichever you want to really. On my other scoreboard I've got a marker pen that lines it up top and the bottom, but I forgot to bring that out with me. So I'm just using this and I'm improvising with a ball tool. I'm just using a plastic needle and just scoring down that line. It's just to give you some idea of where it's going to go. Now it's going to be a little bit difficult obviously because this is rounded, so if you wanted to do the scoring before cutting out, you could do that and going around the edges of it. It's just to give it an idea of where it needs to go. Okay, so I'm going to go down here. Got all the way down, and then with this one it'd be a little bit easier. If you have got a black or just a marker pen and you just wanted to create a line from top to bottom, then you have a pencil line, a marker line, so I'll do it with pencil, and then you would line it up with the top to bottom, and then you know that's going to be where you need to score. I'll show you this one a little bit again. See, this is when you could use with one of your larger scoreboards. This one I've improvised because I've come out to my studio without it, you know, your bigger one. So I'm just using what I've got out here. So just because you haven't got like one of the bigger scoreboards, you can still do this. And it don't matter even if you do come out of the guidelines and get a few marks on the outside, because we're going to be covering this with some tight coils made from quilling paper. So that's it basically. zoom in a little bit more now. I'm just going to fold back on the score lines. Then just take a bone folder or the back of your scissors, just something just to make that crease line nice and neat. So as you can see now, this is the same sort of shape as what it is in the wooden one, but I've added these little flaps on. These are for you gluing it together. So as you can see, I'm trying and get it at an angle so you can see what it's going to do, and then we're going to stick it to the side pieces. So we'll take one this way and put some glue. If you've got Collal glue, that would probably be better, because that's a good construction glue, so it'll make it go more stiff or firm, whatever you want to call it. I'm just using PVA because, again, I forgot to bring it out with me like a silly billy. Right, so if you try and have a look at how I've got this one, it's just sort of slanted from this part, so it goes along there. Oops, sorry, I'm coming a bit further off the camera, sorry. Can we see that? There, that's a bit better. So if you just get the bottom one lined up just above the gap that you can see, you know, the hole that's been cut out, and then press them round there, and then when you've got it facing, you can make sure that it's not going above any of the outer edges, and it's staying within its area. So see if I can get this up for you. So this corner one's overlapped here, so you'll have a nice neat corner there, and then this one you just want to, again, it might just overlap a little bit just depending on how high up you want it. Okay, and then this side's going to be easier because you've already got it in the orientation that you want it to be. So you just put your glue on, and then I'm going to try and line it up so you can see what I'm doing on the camera and see what I'm doing as well. So you're just lining this up with the cutout again. Okay. And once you've got it, the general sort of area where you want to go. This is why you want to use a wet glue, because if you were to use a tape pen or something and you didn't get it quite right, it'd be a little more difficult trying to get it off for you to reposition your pieces. So we've got that, yep. So there. So then you've got your main sleigh. You've just got to wait for it all to dry. Okay, so that's drying. Then for the middle part of the sleigh here, this bar, which the reindeer will be attached to, I'm just using a straw. This is just one that I got from, I think it was Pete's Hut, and I liked it because it was red and white striped. Now the distance between the inside of this is 6.5 centimetres. Now that's a little bit thicker the wood than what your card's going to be, so double check the sizing of your the inside of it that you want to do. So it depends on whether if you want to use a hot glue gun or you just want to use your wet glue and wait for it to dry. So you could just take your straw and just put a little mark where it finishes, and then you can cut it here, or if you cut it a little bit bigger, I'll show you at this end, you can do little snips going around. But I think I'll do it this way, and then you will spread them out, and that will be what you use put your glue on. So, right, we've gone up there now. Right, well, if you wanted to do that option, and if it works out round about the same sizing, so, how do you do? Just double checking, because I don't want to go and get it wrong and tell you the wrong sizing. Right, so yeah, so it's about 6.5 centimetres. So if we use 0.5 centimetre for the slots either side, so if we cut it at 7.5, just snip it off, and then you just want to mark 0.5 centimetre in all the way around on both ends, and then you know where you're going to be snipping to. Yeah. And the same on the other side. Okay. Just take your scissors and just cut down to that line every so often. And these will make our glue flaps. Right, there we go. Just push those out. So you've got something that looks like that. And then you just want to take your glue and put some on each of the flaps. If you're using a hot glue gun and not doing the flaps, all you'll have to do is just fill the end of the straw up with your hot glue and then position it where you want it. I'm doing it this way because I know not everybody's got a hot glue gun. So, and I'm just going to take the sleigh and I'm just going to press them down. Probably not the best angle to show you at. Don't worry about if there's any of these side pieces that come off the edge, you can always snip them off once it's dry. So if you hold it in between there until it's dry, and it'll stay where you want it to go. So if you can just see here, it's just come slightly over. I'll trim those off if I was doing this way, and then I just leave that to dry at the side. Just put some pressure on. So I'll leave that at the side. But like I said, I'm going to be using this one. I've done my count now. And I'm going to be painting it in red, white and silver. I'm going to be doing, I'm going to do white all the way around here. The rest of the sleigh is going to be in red and these is going to be in silver, and I'm going to do the inside and outside. So I'm going to do that off camera. Gosh, you don't need to watch me painting it, and then once it's dry I'll come back and I'll show you how we're going to decorate it. Right, so my sleigh is dry. As you can see, it's not perfectly painted. It really doesn't matter because it's just to, in case you see a little bit of gap in between the quilling type coils that we're going to put on. I've paid more attention to the inside with coating it, simply because we're not putting any quilling shapes on the inside of there. But if you're just using your coloured card and using the template that I've given you, then you just cut it out with whatever colour you're wanting to do. So to do this part, you're going to need lots and lots of tight coils. I can show you how many that mine's going to take, but it depends on what length your strips are, or whether if you want to do smaller coils and you just want to fill it up that way. But I've done white, grey and red. I've also done some half stripped red ones. You could do some white ones as well, but these are just what I'm using today. So this is probably the most time consuming part, is adding these on. So let's start with this side and then work this way around. So I'll show you how to do one side. And I think I've gone a bit blurred. There we go. Sorry, I thought it got a bit blurred then. So I'm going to do the white ones first. And another thing, if you do manage to get hold of these wooden ones, if you're putting the paint on it, it'll help with it soaking up the glue. Because it's bare wood, it would just soaked it up and it would have taken ages for your coils to stick. So I'm just going to put some PVA along the top edge. I'm going to do all the way around here, and then it's just a case of simply putting them on. And I'll just put a little bit more glue there, I don't think I went round to the edge. Okay, whoop. I'm dropping it now. I think when I measured it out when I was getting the video ready, it was about 20 coils of the white, but that obviously that was my length of strip, so it'll just be a case of you playing around and seeing what size your strips are. But that's all we're going to do all along the top edge. It's coming down here and to the other end. So I'll do that off camera and I'll come back. Okay, so I've got all the white put on that I want to do, and I've sort of just curled it round up at the top. If you want to put some half circles in these little gaps at the top, you can do, but I'm going to be sticking some skinny tinsel along the top once it's all dry, so that's why I'm not filling those parts in, so that's totally up to you. So the next part is just filling it in the red area, and it's exactly the same, just going round and filling in the space that you've got. And then obviously eventually this part will fill up first, and then you just carry on filling this in. So it will just take a bit of time, stick film on, put some music on, something just to help pass the time. But I like the monotony of it, to be honest. If it's something to do to keep your hands busy, that doesn't take much thinking, and that's all you need to do. So I'll do the rest off camera, because obviously you don't need to sit here and watch me do that, and then I will just show you what it's like when the red bit's finished, and then we'll go on to the silver part. Right, so that's the red on the side pieces. So now I'm just going to carry on and put the grey ones on over the silver area. So all the area is covered, so all that where I've painted is just literally going to be seen through the tiny little gaps that are in between the tight coils. So with this one, when I was laying them out, I did a line straight down, and then got all the way to the bottom, went along here, but as you can see there's these little gaps that are at either side of them. Now if you don't want to fill them in with half coils like these ones, like I've done with some of the red ones around here, then you can just leave it at that. I'm just leaving it with the big ones unless I decide later that I want to put the little ones on. So I'm just going to go on, carry on finishing this side, and then I'll come back again. There, I've got all the grey ones put on. I've just got one here for going up the leg of the blades, or whatever you call them. I'm not quite sure what you call them on sleighs, but I need to do the same on the other side. And then there's also this part here and here. So when you get up to this curved part here at the top, then you may need to use some of the half coils that I mentioned before, but it's mainly just putting rows and rows of the red coils in, and then when you get to the other side, just repeat what you've done on this side. So I will do it off camera and come back once it's all done. Another thing that I'll do is once they're all stuck in place, I will take my PVA and then I will just go and just put a little bit of glue in between each of the coils, and this will sink down into the joints, and this will just give it an extra protective layer from coming off from the actual sleigh. So I will go and do all that and then I'll come back. Okay, so my sleigh is all dry and ready for us to put our trim on the top. This is just some skinny tinsel that I got from the range, I think it was a pound per packet, and they did all different colours in it. I would have probably preferred having gold on the top, but I've got silver because that's what I've got, and I want to use what it not cost me anymore. So I'm just going to unravel it if I manage to take it off the card. Oh, doubled up, so if you get it like this, don't worry, they've folded it in half and then wrapped it round. It's a nice way of putting it on, I suppose. Right, got my tinsel. So I'm just going to take my hot glue gun and I'm just going to put a little bit of glue where I want it to start off. Now please be careful when you're doing this, I don't want anybody getting burnt. And then it's just going all the way around. There we go. Now it's up to you whether if you want to go over this bit. I think I'm going to. So I'm just putting a blob of glue down in this bottom bit because there's a bend coming up, so I want to make sure that it's stuck right in there so it's not going to come away. And again, wherever there's a curve, make sure you put some glue in. There we go. Put some glue on, stick back in. And then come round here. There. And then I'll just go over this way. So I'm just going to do this all the way around. I'll speed this bit up and just put a bit of music on for this bit so then you can see the process, and I'll talk to you again in a minute. So that's it, that's our sleigh all finished and ready for the reindeer to be pulling it along. I've still got a few of the reindeer to finish off the scene, but I've just brought a few in of the ones that I've finished. I'll pop them to the side like this. You're not really going to see it properly when it's stood up, but the sleigh is going to have 9 reindeers altogether once I've finished the other ones. These ones have just got little bits left over. Rudolph's obviously going to be at the front, but eventually they'll all be connected, and we're going to have a Santa in here, and then Santa's going to be holding the reins on the reindeer, and I'm going to use this nice red, gold and green cord which is I'm going to be attached to each of the reindeer, and I'll show you how to put this on once we've got Santa, because he's going to be holding on to them. So I hope you've enjoyed that and it's inspired you to have a go at making your own little sleigh for your scene, or if you just want to stand some sweets in it at Christmas time, or just as a plain decoration, you can do that too. So thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed it, you could give me a thumbs up, I'd be appreciated, and if you've not subscribed, if you consider subscribing, that'd be appreciated too. So thanks for watching, I'll see you next time. Bye.